Hello everyone, I'm Sam Landers, giving you my honest relationship opinions in the hopes that you can achieve your relationship dreams and goals like I have. Today I'm going to be reacting to TikToks, specifically Jordan Peterson's relationship advice. I am extremely happily married, been with my husband for 12 years, married 7 of those years, and I want to see if I agree or disagree with what he has to say.
You know that people who live together before they're married are more likely to get divorced, not less likely. And the reason for that is, what exactly are you saying to one another when you live with each other? Well, for now, you're better than anything else I can trick. But I'd like to reserve the right to trade you in, conveniently, if someone better happens to stumble into me. Well, how could someone not be insulted to their core by an offer like that? Now, they're willing to play along with it because they're going to do the same thing with you. Now, well, that's exactly it. It's like, yeah, I know you're not going to commit to me, so that means you don't value me or our relationship above everything else. But as long as I get to escape if I need to, then I'm willing to put up with that. It's like, that's a hell of a thing. I mean, you might think, how stupid is it to shackle yourself to someone? It's like, it's stupid, man. There's no doubt about that. But compared to the alternatives, it's pretty damn good. Because without that shackling, there are things you will never, ever learn because you'll avoid them. You can always leave. And if you can leave, then you don't have to tell each other the truth.
I totally disagree with that. I think my friends actually do have happy marriages, and I think that's maybe one of the reasons why they are my friends, because I'm not friends with like the stupid idiot chicks. But all of us lived with our husbands before we were married, and it wasn't about at all I want to like test you out or use you or whatever. It was about paying for 2 separate apartments when you are spending primarily all of your time together is like insanely expensive. So we moved in together relatively quickly after only about 6 months, which I don't recommend usually. But I'll say this, I knew my husband, I wanted to marry my husband after our 3rd date. I didn't know if he wanted to marry me if we were going to get married, but I knew I had found what I was looking for in a husband. We were talking about marriage, we were talking about the future, but we weren't ready to get married after 6 months. But we also couldn't really afford to live separately and spend as much time as we wanted to spend together. So we moved in together, and that was 13 years ago, and we're super happy still. Saying that you're gonna just live with someone because you're just testing them out, like that's offensive. I don't agree with that. You need to discuss it beforehand and listen to what the person says honestly. If you kind of like, if you want to get married, which I personally love, I love the shackling. It's not a shackle at all to me when you find the right person and you're friends and you treat each other well. But if getting married is a goal for you, discuss it before you talk about moving in, because I think that it may be through like jokes or something like that, but listen to what the person says. If they're not into marriage, or if they make jokes about like, marriages never work out, or, I don't see myself being the type of person to get married, listen to those things and then don't move in with that person.
For a couple to maintain their relationship without it deteriorating, they have to spend 90 minutes a week together talking about their lives, about how the house is run, about what they've all been doing to keep their stories caught up, right? And then they need to spend at least 1 time having a date, and 2 is better. 1 is necessary, 2 is better. And so that's sort of your minimal commitment level if you don't want things to deteriorate.
That I agree with. I think that you need to put effort into your marriage. And the word effort, like when you aren't in it, you're like, effort, what the fuck does that mean? I don't want to put effort into my marriage. I just want to have fun with it. I would equate it to the same amount of effort that you put into your friendships. So for example, I bet there are times with your friends where you want to say, like, you're being a fucking idiot, or like, why are you doing it that way? Or like, what the fuck? But you bite your tongue and you don't say it to your friends because A, what's the point? B, you don't talk to your friends like that. And C, you want this relationship to sustain and last. And if you just say rude things to that person, you're not going to be their friend for very long. So in that aspect, I do think you need to put in the effort. I do think you need to talk about your day. That can be as little as just allowing yourself both to vent. When my husband gets home from work, there's like 20 minutes where I know that he just might need to just vent about his day and just like blah, tell me all about it. Kind of be there, just like you would listen to like a girlfriend talk about like a breakup or like a crazy guy that's driving her crazy, and you just like listen and be supportive. You need to put that same amount of effort into your marriage. So yes, I agree.
That love in some sense is the grace of God, you know, is that if you're in a relationship with someone that's characterized by love, you see each other in some deep sense, and you can't see other people like that because you don't have the ability. But it's not like the love is a delusion. It's the opposite of a delusion.
Exactly. And that's the interesting thing. What they're robbing people of is the most beautiful thing, which is the ability to emote for somebody else, and to invest yourself in something.
Well, and also to live in that condition. I mean, if you're around someone that you love, and that love defines the relationship, there isn't any better thing you can do.
No.
And so then to minimize that, to call it some sort of biological or biochemical aberration, which is the worst form of unconscionable reductionism, is to reduce the highest possible goal to something that's nothing but like a trivial consequence of some underlying materiality. It's appalling, and it's really demoralizing.
Wow. Okay. So basically, this is sort of why I do this, do these YouTubes and do this channel, because I believe pretty much what he was saying there, that for me, there is nothing more fulfilling day-to-day, minute-to-minute, overall in life than to be in a happy, healthy marriage, team. You know, like, it's easier to live life like this, you know, leaning on each other, than it is to live life like this. In my experience, I want a best friend and a partner and someone that's going to get me through the hard times, and someone to make love with, and someone to push me to, you know, go on walks, and you know, where I'm lacking, they are strong. So I don't know why or where this whole like getting married is this awful thing came from. You know what? I kind of do, because we've seen these awful examples of what marriage is, and I get that, because divorce is like what I kind of grew up knowing. Bad marriages are to be avoided, but good marriages are to be desired and to be sought after and to be put on your priority list. And I also believe that healing ourselves, the more you heal yourself, the more apt you are to be able to find that relationship. And when you actually like meet that person that like is like glowing to you, that you will be glowing to them as well, because you've done that work and you've done the healing. So like, you don't have to be perfect, and you don't have to have those amazing perfect examples to be able to get to that dream relationship. And that's part of why I do this. So being married to the right person is like the best fucking thing ever.
A relationship with someone and you feel resentment climbing up on you, that's an indication of one of two things. You're either immature and unwilling to make the sacrifices necessary for the relationship, or to negotiate fairly within the relationship, and then you should mature out of that as fast as you possibly can, and maybe you can do that through dialogue with your partner. Or the resentment might mean that you are in fact being taken advantage of, and that you have something to say. So don't let, if resentment pops up, find out whether you're immature or being oppressed. And if it's the latter, then you have something to say, to enter into a negotiation. And the negotiation should be that you both get something better than either of you would have had if you were separate.
This guy's so fucking smart. If you're feeling manipulated, you need to define whether it goes in this category or this category. If you are actually being manipulated, like, that's one thing, you move on, you deserve better. But if you are feeling resentment and like anger feelings, which I'm telling you, like, will pop up if you've had unhealthy examples growing up, or for most people, we just like don't know how to be healthy in like relationships. So I agree. Dialogue, to me, what I would really recommend, and what helped me with our dialogue, is like just deciding that you're just going to be honest. So if you're feeling jealousy or you're feeling resentment, like, instead of being like, blah, 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 my recommendation would just say, like, in the moment, like, oh, like, I know this is wrong or whatever, or like, I don't know why I'm feeling this, but like, I feel really jealous about this situation. Like, I know you doing da 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 da, there's technically nothing wrong with you doing it, but I feel jealousy because of my example of this or my history with that. And then when you're just open and like kind of flat and not like super emotional and angry about it, your partner may be able to say like, okay, let's break this down. So you're feeling jealous because of da 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 da, because of A, B, and C. So let's see if we can negotiate like what he was just saying. So if there's a difference between you negotiating beforehand, if you're gonna go out for, you know, a boys' night out, would you agree to text me twice beforehand versus you hyperactively texting him during the interaction, during the bachelor or the bachelor party while he's away, freaking out. There's a total difference between that. And I'm Sam Landers, and that's my thoughts on Jordan Peterson's relationship advice. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, comment below. Thank you so much for watching.